I am the Humble Seer.
Hello and welcome to the Humble Seer. So we're going to do an old Hollywood, and today we're going to do Bette Davis. And Bette Davis was married 4 times. Now, it's interesting because these people in the industry, especially old Hollywood, they just married a lot, or they just went from person to person. And some might think it was the industry but it's really a personality type. But it's a flawed personality type that really gets into the industry at all. It's somebody that needs love and attention. I mean, like Jennifer Lopez would be a modern day Bette Davis in that way. Just jumping out of one relationship into the next and marrying constantly. And some might say, oh, it's sweet. She doesn't give up on love. But I think it's more sinister than that, to be honest. But I somewhat digress. So Bette Davis had 4 husbands. I think she was a widow with one of them, but she married 4 times. She just simply couldn't get it right. And she had 3 kids. She was born in 1908 and she died in 1989. And she was a tough cookie. She was tough to deal with. She was, just really couldn't be bossed around. Right? She had her own personality, and you either could roll with it or you couldn't. But let's talk a little bit let's pull a card on the woman. Okay? Let's pull a card on the woman. Get some more insight into her personality. Okay, so we have 7 of Cups. And 7 of Cups is good choices. It's imagination. It's a variety of choices. And this just really represents, her range as far as what she could do and her acting. I mean, she was a very famous actress because she put her nose to the grindstone. She got in there and did it. She got the work done. She appreciated her craft and what she did. She enjoyed it a great deal. It wasn't like work for her, is what I get. And I also get that a lot of the roles that she played were really who she was. And the studios like that. It's like, well, she can come across a certain way because, well, this is her personality in real life. So that's interesting. I don't know of any of her movies, but interesting. What were her romantic relationships like with the different men that she, because she married and she dated. She had a lot of men in her life. What were her romantic relationships like? Okay, strength. It's an interesting card for relationships, but, you had to be brave to be in them. Responsible. You had to be tolerant, which makes sense because she was in and out of them, right? I mean, if you're married 4 times, that's a lot. That's a revolving door. And it doesn't include all of the people that she dated or was romantically involved in that we don't know about. And there were those as well. So in her relationships, the ones that she found herself in, because they were facsimiles, they were all similar. It took strength. They were abusive relationships. That's what she found herself in. Abusive, name calling, more than anything, type relationships. They just weren't healthy. They weren't positive, and they reduced her in many ways. They just whittled her down. What was she like as a parent? What kind of parent was Bette Davis like? All right, so we have 10 of Cups. And 10 of Cups is about, it's wealth. And she wasn't rich by any stretch of the imagination, not like celebrities in this day and age. But she made a good living and she was smart with her money. She didn't just blow her money. And so she was able to provide, but the children weren't the happiest. Her children were not happy. That's what I see. They just, they weren't, I mean, she had a different kind of love. It was a different type of love. But in that era, I mean, she was born in 1908, right? people that came out of that, they went through the depression and all of that. They have a different take on family, and they're frugal and they're cheap, and they're not going to just be, even if they had a nice amount of money in those times, they weren't going to blow it. I mean, living through a depression and all of that, you're going to be smart. Living in those times of wars and different things like that, you are a product of that time. So, yeah. But she led an interesting life. She enjoyed her craft. She didn't enjoy the marriages that she was in, but she kept trying and failing because she didn't recognize her flaws or the flaws of the people that she entered into a relationship with. She was just getting into the same type of relationships. Hmm. But she lived a long life. I mean, she lived to 81, so I believe she was 81. So um, there you have it. That's Bette Davis. Steely eyes is what I get. Because when she would look at you with those eyes, well, it wasn't a positive thing, which is why I would say steely eyes. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for stopping by the Humble Seer. Like, share, subscribe, buy me a coffee in the description box below. And until next time, you take good care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.